Getting to that time now, it's sort of late winter, sort of spring is literally around the corner, and all us carp guys are thinking about carp. We're thinking about rigs, baits, venues, tactics. We're thinking about all that sort of stuff. And if you're not thinking about hook baits, you should be, because it can be an absolute edge in your own carp fishing. Few reasons why you'd want to make your own hook baits is you can make them to the same flavors as your boilies you're using. You can make them different. You can make them bigger, smaller, change the buoyancy, color. All these things make a huge difference to your angling and can be an absolute edge as well. Not only that, if you actually catch a fish on one of the hook baits you made, you just get that massive sense of happiness and sort of joy that you've made that hook bait and you've caught that carp. So first things first, get your egg and you want to separate the yolk from the whites. So the reason I do this is I use the whites to actually make my cork ball pop-ups, and I use the yolk to soak my cork balls in. The reason we are going to be doing that is just so those cork balls get a little bit tacky and have that egg on them, just because that makes a difference when you're putting the paste around the cork ball. It helps stick the paste to the cork ball. Trust me, it's a little edge. After you've done that, it's the time to start adding your flavors. So today we're going to be making a cell sort of style cork ball pop-up, and you're going to be wanting to add 5 ml of the cell. You use a little syringe or your pipettes or whatever to measure those. You want to be using just 1 ml of the sweet aid. This is just a little bonus because it just sort of rounds off the flavor, really stops it having such a bitter taste. It definitely makes a difference. You can also use honey if you haven't got any sweet aid. Honey is another good little edge. You want to add a tiny little bit of hemp seed oil, and this just stops the bait from drying out too quickly and helps roll it basically. Also, this is the time you want to add your extra flavors. So today I'm going to add 5 ml of banoffee. I think it goes really well with cell, but the world is your oyster. You can add whatever flavors you want at this time. After that, it's time for your dyes, and I'm going to go for a sort of washed out pink effect today. So I'm going to add a bit of white and a tiny little bit of red. This will just make a washed out sort of pinky color. Not too much red. I don't want them red, I want them washed out pink. So make sure you mix that thoroughly in with your fork or your mixer, and just mix it really well so it's all mixed lovely together. And now you want to start adding your base mix. Some base mixes do need to be sieved because they've got bird foods in or some coarser lumps, and you want to sort of remove those. You don't want them in the thin paste you're going to be putting around your cork ball. Cell is pretty much hasn't got any lumps in, so I don't need to, but I'm going to sieve it out anyway just for it's good practice. So I'm going to sieve that out and slowly add it to the yolk, the whites and your flavors, little by little, because you don't want to overdo it. You want to knead it all in till you get that lovely sort of consistency, which is just so it doesn't quite stick to your hands, but you want it a little bit tacky at this stage, because what we're going to do is we're going to roll it in a ball and we're going to stick it in one of the little clear food bags, and we're going to leave it for about 20-30 minutes. This just helps it sort of get soaked up into all that base mix, and then after that you can take it out and have a check, and it should be not tacky, just nice pliable paste. After that, you now want to get those cork balls which have been soaking in your yolk, and you want to just pinch off a little bit of paste. And this is the difference between what you want that hook bait to do basically. If you want it ultra buoyant, you're going to want least amount of paste around that cork ball as possible. But if you want it, say maybe for a Ronnie rig where you don't want it as buoyant as you would a chard or a hingy, you can put a slightly thicker bit of paste around. So today we're going to be making them to go on Ronnie rigs. So the paste, I'm going to probably put about 2 ml of paste around the whole bit of cork ball. Once you've put the paste, you just give it a roll in your hands, just make sure it's all round and perfectly how you want it, and stick it aside on a plate. Obviously, don't do too many at a time. I would say probably do 10, 12, something like that at a time. And while you're doing that, get your kettle on, get your saucepan on, and get that water boiling. So we want proper boil, get all your baits, those 10, 12 baits, and put them into the boiling water. I would probably boiling for about a minute. Some people do them longer depending on how hard you want the baits to be, but a good starting point is about a minute, and you can sort of adjust that to your own sort of thickness of paste, etc. But a minute is a good starting point. Once that's done, take them out and add them to another plate with a bit of kitchen towel on, and just let them dry while you crack on and make some more. So you probably want to leave your Corkball pop-ups for about a week to fully dry out. You want them drying out so they're nice and hard. Make sure they've got no cracks in. If there are some that look a bit dodgy, that you can just discard those, but you're looking for the lovely round ones which aren't cracked, and then you can put them into your bake tubs. A little bonus, you can also add more flavours at this point because they're fully dried out. You don't want to put the neat flavours in, you don't want them too strong, but you can start putting like sort of hook bait dips on and other sort of less strong flavours, and that way you can get those Corkballs full of attraction, ready for when you get out on the bank.